Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we've got the incredible new 5.9 kilogram Scott Addict, an outrageous custom bike from Bastion, and an update on that ridiculous aero backpack.
Plus we've got the truth about winter tyres and why Chris Froome is probably having the last laugh.
Now, the first thing we need to address, Conor, is why you sat on the floor.
Well, I am sat on the floor. We've run out of chairs, everyone, and we are still in the GCN Tech set, but we are imminently moving house.
Yeah, we've told people we're moving house. We're still moving house. If you moved house before, you'll know how this can go down. It's taken a bit longer than we thought, but hopefully next week we will be in our new house.
Yeah, and we're really excited to share it with you. We've had a sneak peek ourselves. Looks pretty cool.
New house looks good.
Cool. Yeah.
But we need to get onto our main talking point, which is the truth about winter tyres and what we actually use, because winter is here. If you're in the
coming.
Well, it's here.
Yes,
I think.
yes,
if you're in the northern hemisphere, well, with it comes colder temperatures. Grottier, dirtier roads, and more punctures. So, what tyres do you use and why?
So I use my normal tyres all the way up to the point where you have that really bad week in the autumn, and like October or November, it pours down with rain for the week, and then you know winter is here. Where we are now, basically, there I change my tyres 100%, because I think you want to kind of like winter-proof your bike for the next few months.
Unless, of course, you live in Spain, which is also in the northern hemisphere, and well, we're just jealous, aren't we?
We are very jealous.
But I think. So you do change your tyres?
I change them mainly because, especially like Northern Europe, you get so much like rubbish on the roads when these rains come in, and when you're going through winter, you have the salt on the roads, you have the grit, you have you have thorns from everyone cutting the hedges, and you do just chip away at the tyre so quickly.
Moisture as well.
Moisture.
Right, so having wet roads, that does actually act as a lubricant in helping cut through the tyre, and you get more punctures on wet roads.
Yeah, so you just want something stronger and more durable.
The guys at Pirelli told me that when I visited them.
There you go. Yeah, and you just don't want to get to that point where you're training a lot and you get into that place where you're tired. You don't want to like do these changes on the roadside. So get it done at the start, commit to it, and you get a lot more life out of your tyres. Personally, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, I tend to like to go wider in winter.
Yeah.
And that's for a number of reasons. So you've got more grip because the road surfaces are slippier, what with just debris and mud and leaves and crap on the roads, and they're wet often. So you want that extra grip by having a bit bigger contact patch. But also, and I've mentioned this in videos before, there's slightly decreased punctures with wider tyres because the contact patch area is bigger. And so this is also something I learned visiting Pirelli. Right, nerd alert. This pertains to Newton's second law of motion.
Hold up there, Mr. Science Guy Ollie. I think you'll find you actually mean Newton's third law of motion.
In that every force has an equal and opposite, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So your contact patch has higher pressure. It's a bit like a stiletto heel versus an elephant's foot that people are often taught in physics at school. And so because your smaller tyre exerts more force, more force per... The force is more concentrated into a smaller point.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's easier for objects to force their way back inside that point.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a bigger tyre, your mass is distributed over a larger area and there's less force concentration on the contact patch.
Interesting.
Hopefully people understand what I'm trying to say there.
I've taken it to extremes. Into the fact where I'm kind of riding my gravel bike this winter with 40mm tyres. Pirelli Cinturato, hard terrain, rolls really well. Super large contact patch, nice and comfy. I mean, obviously I'm going to be a little slower than the out-and-out road setup, but I think we are in quite a unique position here in the UK, and I guess you get it in Belgium as well. On those lanes, it is literally like riding in gravel on the road. So for me, I'm like, well, I'm just going to commit to that.
But you like going in grotty little lanes. I don't. I tend to stick to bigger, faster, wider roads.
That's very true.
Also, the important thing to know here is it does depend on the kind of riding that you do, where you ride, and also the climate. So, for example, you ride in grotty roads. I try and keep my bike clean and ride to the bigger roads, which tend to be a bit busier. Not everyone likes that, but they tend to be cleaner, less debris on them. The other thing is exactly where you do live, because tyre compounds vary. So, for example, on a winter tyre, and we keep mentioning Pirelli because, full transparency, they are one of our sponsors here at GCN. But for a lot of other brands tend to have like a more winter tyre in their range. So Pirelli have like the 4S, okay?
Yeah.
The compound is different in winter tyres usually. So it's designed to operate at a lower temperature. So when you freeze rubber, it gets really hard, right? But you can tune with the additives that go into rubber compounds at what point they get hard. And when they get hard, you have a lot less grip, right? So that's important.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, in the UK, it very rarely gets really cold.
Yeah.
It's usually just meh.
Yeah, 10 degrees meh.
If you live in a place where it gets very cold, sort of 5 degrees Celsius and below, and you're riding in that, then obviously we wouldn't say go out in the ice, but it can get very cold. Then the winter tyre and that compound really does come into its own. They actually say below sort of 7 degrees, below 9 degrees, I think they actually say for the 4S. But I find that when it gets really icy, I wouldn't go out. I'd just ride indoors. And it rarely does in the UK. So I would tend to just use a normal sort of non-cold weather tyre.
Interesting.
But wider.
Yeah, I mean, you all often get colder temperatures in the mountains, in like further south in Europe, when you get into those valleys and you're doing these climbs, which they're gritted and you have the grip, but you are freezing. So maybe it's that place where the tyre's best suited to. I mean, you still do get cold mornings up round here, but for me, it's just the durability of the tyre and just like them getting just slit and cut by everything you're riding through, which is why I choose for something that is more orientated to durability, that's going to get you more miles.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that people don't necessarily realise, though, is that they might switch to a tyre that has a lot more puncture protection and, is a bit sort of bigger. But if you are riding in a really cold environment, it might not have good grip if the rubber compound isn't designed for it.
Yeah.
It might just get really hard and then be a really slippy tyre to use. So that is one thing. Like, you can often, tyre brands will tell you what the temperature range that it's suitable for use in, but I would pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever used winter tyres on a car and you've ridden in cold weather, like the difference is just night and day, and we've tried it on bikes, and you do feel that you've got more grip.
One big thing though, tubeless or non-tubeless?
Always tubeless.
Me too.
For me.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times I've now gone on a ride and come back and then found some sealant on my frame where it's sealed and I didn't even know, and I've made it home, there's just loads of instances of that.
Yeah.
Where I'm like that, in winter you don't want to be stood on the side of the road. I do understand that people have this thing of like they're worried that they'll get a puncture in winter and then the tubeless is harder to get on and off. And so then that freaks them out. But I find that now with the new the standard or whatever it's called, they tend to be a lot better now. Yeah. And also, if you're then using like plugs, if you got like dyno plugs and you just bang one of those in,
I mean, I've been using tubeless now. I hate to say this, I'm tempting fate massively.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
4 years full tubeless, and I've never really had one where it's been like a real pain. I've had a couple where it's been like, but never one where it's been like, I need to call a taxi,
Yeah.
So It does work. It works well. And then also you
But
can
then, but then what everyone's going to remind us of in the comments is the Monty Grappa video where I had about 1,000 punches.
I was watching that, and that's why I'm scared of tempting fate, because I do not want that to happen to me. But I think it's just a classic. It doesn't matter what you're using when you puncture. It's about like just fixing the root cause and trying to not do like a half-assed job on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you did, but you're racing. You're trying to do things fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes it affords it's better just to take double the time. Just stop, sit and look at it, get it properly sorted, and then crack on rather than like right bang tube blah blah blah, blah and then let's go.
Yeah.
And then you just end up with another one down the line because you've bodged something.
Right.
But I'm not saying you bodged it, but I think it did look pretty rushed.
It would have been easier if Tweedledum and Tweedledee had packed a pump in the actual support car, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You probably set off without super low pressure, did you?
No, like all right, but yeah. Anyway, well, let us know.
We'll dissect it. We'll dissect it off camera.
There'll be an inquest.
I was feeling sorry for you, I'm not going to lie. I was feeling so sorry for you. And it's just when you're turning around at the bottom as well. And you're like, you want to just get warm, you're cold from the descent. Oh man, I'm sorry for you. But it was some effort, to be fair. Just going back to that. Yeah.
Well, let us know what your experiences are of running winter tyres, and if you do change your tyres for winter. I, for one, would definitely recommend it, just so you're not ruining your fancy,
for sure.
good weather, fast tyres.
Give it some thought.
Tyres aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
Right, on to hot tech now, and we've got something incredible. So, Scott have just launched the brand new Addict RC. Now, the Addict is the lightweight bike in Scott's stable, and it's always historically been really light. But this new RC, I feel it takes lightweight disc brake bikes to another level.
Yeah.
How much is it, Connor?
5.9 kilos.
They say, well, less.
They actually say under 5.9 kilos in the press release, which is pretty nuts.
How have they achieved this?
So they say they've shaved 300 grams off the frame weight. So that's frame, forks, and hardware included.
I mean, that's
a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so they reckon they've done this, they say, using a new process of kind of like carbon moulding. So the frame's totally hollow and there's no like dead end tube segments, and any excess resin is extracted from the frame. So it's super smooth under there, and they've reduced the thickness of the frame in places by close to 0.6 millimeters. So they've just basically taken out all that, and found a way to take out all that excess carbon that's not needed.
The inside.
There's literally anything that's not needed has been stripped.
I mean, I really want to visit the factory and see how they're actually doing this.
Yeah.
It sounds fascinating. It
does.
Having been to lots of carbon factories in all over the place and seen different processes, this does sound really interesting.
What I found interesting for the frame as well is tyre clearance is 34 mil. So even wider for like a real race-specific frame there.
But the most important thing, it looks proper good.
It looks cool.
I think it's a really good-looking bike.
It really makes me want to ride it. I want to try that bike. It looks absolutely sick.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Well, 5.9 kilos, that's my porridge in the breakfast. I'd have that much porridge in the morning.
5.9 kilos.
No, maybe that's an exaggeration. It's about as much as that breakfast weighed.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You made me eat. But yeah, nice one, Scott. That looks like a cool bike.
That is mad. Well, yeah, I like that a lot. Next up, Chris Froome, right? We said in the title of the show, he's got the last laugh.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have laughed at Chris Froome for him staring at his stem and using a quad lock mount on his bike.
It's the perfect partnership.
It's become a bit of a joke. It's the perfect partnership, but a lot of people have laughed at. Now, what you might not realise is that quad lock was sold last week. It was acquired and sold by the Swedish roof rack manufacturer, and this is how you pronounce it, Thule.
You do not pronounce it Thule.
No, you got that wrong. It's not Thule. Thule.
Thule.
Yeah.
That is not how it.
I've heard all sorts. People call it fuel.
No,
that's a crap drink that's ultra processed. It's not fuel.
No one goes down into Halfords and says, "Hello, I'd like a Thule, please."
No, not Thule. Thule.
Too late, you.
It's not Thule, it's Thule.
Anyway, pronunciation
It is,
aside.
honestly, I was having a debate
That is
with
how you
Simon.
pronounce it in Sweden. If you're Swedish. We aren't Swedish, Ollie.
So what do you call it?
Thule.
Fuel?
Thule, like everyone else. Thule.
Everyone I speak to calls it something different. Anyway, Thule have bought Quadlock for $327 million.
That's a lot of money.
I had no idea that Quadlock was that big.
Neither did I. I mean, we are in our little cycling bubble here.
Now,
and we're thinking
we
of,
don't
like,
know, right? We don't know this for sure, but if Chris Froome, and he is a smart man, Chris Froome, if he has equity in Quadlock, then he's got the last laugh.
He has got the last laugh. I mean, even without that, I think he's having the last laugh.
Yeah.
But so I just didn't realise how big they were. They sell mounts for helicopters. I just look.
Well, no. So if you look on
a helicopter mount for it,
you would have hoped that a plane or a helicopter has navigation equipment that's superior to Google Maps. That is quite concerning that there is a Quadlock mount for aviation. That's concerning me. But there's also ones. I mean, there's loads. There's golf. There's
golf. Yeah, I don't know where you
put them on their boats. People put them on their cars. People put them on their. What's that?
Motorbikes.
There's running ones. Motorbikes I knew about. Our friends that ride motorbikes use them. But
yeah, the golf one, I just was like, where would you put it when you're playing golf?
In our echo chamber, I thought it was just bikes and Chris Froome.
It's not. It's huge. And
there you go.
So there you go.
Right.
Thule.
Thule. No, you still. It's
Thule.
not Lee.
Thule.
Thule.
So you need to go for your Quadlock.
Yes. That's not all, though. You may remember we featured in the Tech Show a while back this outrageous, crazy-looking aero backpack thing, which is apparently going to make you faster. Well, that remains to be seen, and I can't wait to find out. I mean, it'd be great to get our hands on one when they become available. But the Kickstarter campaign for the RAM Air Fairing has been successful. So they were trying to raise 10,000 euros, I believe it was, or 10,000 Hong Kong dollars, and they raised 12,000, which is equivalent to about 13,000 US dollars. 10,000 Hong Kong dollars.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to try one. It'd be a bit of a faff to have to, go commute into work. Imagine putting that on.
Look,
where would you store it in the office?
I'm putting myself. My guess is that is not faster, but I retain an open mind. I will wait and see what some actual aero testing says.
Yeah, we have to give it a go. Maybe we need to do a DIY one and try it ourselves.
Yes.
It'd be better if it doubled as a parachute.
It's gone viral, which is good for them. Next up, we've got an incredible custom build. So this is a Bastion Superleggera, and it actually belongs to the bike tailor who's helped us out with wind tunnel testing in the past. This is his bike that he's had made for him.
Wow.
But it's blooming beautiful.
It's outrageous.
So Bastion make custom tailor-made bikes, right? And it's got 3D printed lugs on, and it's got 3D printed stem. But then the carbon tubes have been filament wound. So that's not the normal tube process that you see with most bikes where they use pre-preg. This is like knitted by robots. It's used on time frames, and a similar process has been used on the 3T frames that are made in Italy. But it creates this beautiful knitted pattern, and then it's just this, I don't know, I just think really like the sort of texture it sort of creates. And then it's got a green lacquer over the top of that to really sort of show it off. But if you look at the lugs on here, they are really nice.
The lugs really make it, I think.
I like the little engravings in them and stuff.
Shiny stuff.
Yeah, it's really, really smart. So full custom geometry and all the rest of that. He's also says he's put on these Partington R Series 3944 wheels, which he says he absolutely loves. I believe they're rather fancy pants wheels, those.
Nice.
They look good though, don't they?
It's got all the bells and whistles, basically.
Yeah, and just all the sort of 3D printing on there and stuff, and full Dura HDI too. I just think it's really, really nice.
Yeah, me too. That is one heck of a bike,
isn't it? Other news in hot tech. Le Coq Sportif has been announced. They've gone into receivership.
Oh wow!
Yeah, another clothing brand struggling.
Gosh.
So for those who aren't familiar, Le Coq Sportif, French clothing brand, known most famously in cycling circles for making the yellow jersey, the race leaders' jerseys in the Tour.
Yeah, quite an iconic brand, really.
The sporty cockerel. Yeah, I'm learning French.
Well, hopefully there's a good outcome, and like anyone who's affected by that can find a new place.
Yeah, well, I think they're still going at the moment because they've gone into receivership. So hopefully they can sort it out. Yeah. Also, we have our weekly Zwift rides.
We do. This Wednesday is led by Lauren Winter.
Yeah, who's one of our new presenters over on GCN Auf Deutsch.
Yeah, GCN Auf Deutsch.
So if you want to do that,
good pronunciation,
and join with him. Well, all right, you're all right with Deutsch, but when I say Thule. Anyway, if you want to join the ride, as ever, it's the same time. It always is. So it's 6:30 p.m. GMT, and on Wednesdays.
Yeah, hour of power, no drop ride, good bit of chat. We've had a lot of fun doing these rides. So join along if you can.
We also have our ongoing Elitewheels competition, so a chance to win some Elite G36 gravel wheels. Great prize, ideal wheels for riding in winter as well. So there's a competition link down in the description below, and that'll take you through to the giveaways page, and it's free to enter. It's also open to the whole world, all territories and locations, which is good, isn't it? And the entries close 10 p.m. on Friday, the 29th of November. So that'll be tomorrow when this goes out. And winners will be announced on the GCN show from the 3rd of December.
Right, get your entries in before it's too late, everyone. Right then, time for comments of the week. Starting off with last week's show. This was sent in by Andrew McAllister, 3462. Alex, just wanted to say that your Cornago video was stunning. Awesome effort by you and the camera crew. I've got to echo that as well. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it is really cool. And if you've not seen it, go check it out. Now that we're independent here on GCN, we're trying to raise the game, and we're trying to make better videos. We can't currently do it with every single video we do, but we are really making an effort to just bring you some really good content that is just better than what we've done before in terms of what we're able to offer people for free. Yeah, that's an example of something where we've tried to really raise the bar. So
push the boat out.
If you've not seen it, go check it out and let us know what you think, because your support is, why we're here. Yeah. Next comment is from Mountain Heart, and this is under last week's show as well, talking about Chinese wheels being used by Astana in the World Tour next year. And it says, feeling proud that our country's brands are making big steps forward on the world stage. Also feel that XDS got super lucky that they signed sponsorship with Astana right before Cav got his 35th Tour de France win. Would have probably been much more expensive afterwards. Yeah, it's a good point. If that's true, I didn't know that, but yeah.
Jan Eric Bars 7413 said it would be really a breakthrough if a World Tour team rides an all Chinese group set. Frames are Chinese for almost 20 years, which is a good point.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's European brands or North American brands, but for the most part, but apart from Giant and Merida, but with largely manufactured in Asia. Next, we've got a comment from Alex's Cracked Frames video from Robert Trabanal, who says, as a mountain biker, I installed 2 layers of armour on my frame. Amazing how hard rocks coming off the front tyre can strike. Carbon gravel riders, you've been warned right here.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I've had a lot of rock strikes in places I probably shouldn't have been riding a gravel bike.
Yeah.
So far, so good, but good bit of armour.
Yeah.
Protect the crown jewels. This was under these comments around the maintenance bar strike, which you did.
So it's how you can protect your bike from bar strikes, which is a common thing, not necessarily on gravel bikes, on all bikes. When you come off and the handlebars strike the top tube, it's the most common way carbon frames break. And a lot of sort of comments under it, but people going like, wow, just ride a steel bike. It's like, well, yeah, but loads of people want to ride carbon bikes and do ride carbon bikes, and it's really unhelpful to say, oh, ride a steel bike. So if you do ride a carbon bike and you want to protect it, this is a really great hack.
Yeah, Pixel Vibe 42 commented, when I've crashed in crits, the bar striking the top tube was the least of my worries. Broken bones were the problem. Well, yeah, but then when you hit your bones heel and you realise your bike's broken, then you got another problem.
Yeah.
I see your point. But
yeah. And P. Marriott says, you've been using Skiing bike protections for 15 years on all my mountain bikes, and they work great.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't know that particular brand, but
we'll give them
I'll have a look
check
at
them out.
Yeah,
nice one. Thanks everyone for your comments. Don't forget to get involved in the discussion below under all our videos, and we'll do our best to get around and get them. Feature your comment in the show.
Yeah. Over to the Bike Vault now, where you get to submit pictures of your bikes. You can do it in the link in the description below to the uploader, and we'll judge them to be either nice or super nice.
And ring the bell. I tell you what,
Yeah.
the Bike Vault this week, I think, one of the best Bike Vaults I've ever seen on the show.
Yeah. Big.
Like, genuinely.
Big claim.
Some big entries this week.
Big claim for a big man.
Thank you everyone for sending them in. Right, let's kick us off with, I don't feel that big, it's really weird. I'm like, get my chair up. Right, RN Goyan91 sent this in. This is his dream titanium gravel bike, 2024 Mountain Kanto titanium, SRAM Rival Explorer, coefficient RR handlebars, and it's in a size 47. That looks...
Where's he riding? That looks
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where that was from the photo as well. I am either going to say that is Australia.
Yeah.
It's like South Australia, Bendigo, or maybe
Rorke's
somewhere in the US.
Drift.
Somewhere in the US. It's hard to say, but the bike looks stunning. You know what I really like about this bike is the name, like the lettering, the colouring of the lettering against the titanium.
It's like anodised, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks absolutely
Also,
lovely.
we're on about bar strikes and stuff. I do think, well, rock strikes, titanium, amazing material. Well, alloy gravel bikes in general, but titanium, because it is just, you could just, if it gets scratched, you just polish it
Polish
back.
it off. Yeah. But that looks nice. Really love that. Thanks for sending that in. That is
super nice, isn't it?
That's not super nice. Nothing is.
H. James with his winter rig shakedown ride, and he's put fat tyres and fenders
Nice.
on his Canyon Endurace CF8.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Lovely.
Also, another amazing location.
Yeah. I mean,
Lake Lucerne.
That is winter riding, isn't it? I mean, he's gone for what I was talking about in the show earlier. It looks like some chunkier tyres on there.
Yeah.
And Endurace, you can fit 35 mil on. So
that's exemplary.
that is a lovely, lovely winter bike. I love the use of the fenders too. They look nice. That's a super nice one.
That is a super nice as well.
Right, next up, this has been sent in by Tabor Newton. Thanks for the submission. This is pretty special. So this is a fellow soloist with a reserve double disc. That looks outrageous. So Tabor said, figured you might find this entertaining. It's, to the best of my knowledge, the only set of reserve double discs in the wild. It's not with this Melissa bike. On a soloist with Dida Alaniera.
Yeah, it's one by as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that is outrageous, isn't it? With the double disc.
when I first glanced at it, I was like, is that a track bike? And then it was like, whoa.
On all but the stillest of days, it's probably horrendous. But as anyone who watched WOW trying to ride around Paris probably thought, but it's...
I'd love to try one. I would love to try one.
I'd love to as well.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
It would be so interested. But that looks sweet.
It looks proper cool though, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
the paint job really makes it pop.
I think that's a stock paint job on those soloists.
Nice, that.
I saw
It's
one in a
nice.
bike shop a couple of weeks ago.
Makes it pop.
It's like a salmon pink.
You know
Nice.
what like really makes it as well is the fact that the chainring is like full opaque.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you know,
it matches the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They use it too. But that is nice.
Super nice.
Yeah, super nice that.
I like that big industrial door as well.
Did we even super nice? Did we forget to super nice the canyon?
No, we did super
Did we do it?
nice.
Okay, right. Sorry, just a bit of house.
Next up, we've got this Tri-Aero, which belongs to Nate Muchmore, and it's been custom painted by Nate, apparently.
Yeah, and this is really nice. So Nate says, I bought the frame in 2021, built it up himself. Since then, it's gone through many iterations. I've experimented with different components, eventually landing on SRAM ETAP. Originally, it was just black with the Tri-Aero lettering, but I decided to paint it myself. Custom painting was something I always wanted to try, so I finally bit the bullet and went for it. drew inspiration from some of your GCN custom paint videos.
I hope not.
Some tips and tricks.
Not my ones. Manon's one's good.
Went to a local body shop to achieve the look I wanted. I have to say, I'm extremely happy how it turned out. It's been incredibly fun to ride. I've logged over 10,000 miles on it too, which is what we like to hear. The bike rips and brings you so much joy. Nice.
Smart, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
It
It's
is
really
smart.
nice. I like the black and red you've gone for sure. I love it when you get a paint part of the frame into the lettering.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
the wall, the jaunty, the bike's not at a
Here we
jaunty
go with
angle,
the jaunty angle.
but the wall is at a
Here we
jaunty
go with
angle.
the jaunty angle.
And that's just... It's
Red on the bar tape as well. It's like all the little details.
I know, yeah.
But I do know, jaunty angle is a little. It's quite hard to get the contrast right to see the picture. So we are.
I mean, they've done everything else right. I'm going to let that slight...
it's up to you.
If the bike was at a jaunty angle, it would be an absolute no. But because we've not really spoken about jaunty angle walls before, I'm going to let it slide on this occasion.
jaunty angle walls. Go on then, we'll put it through. Super nice, thank you very
But a
much.
shadow stand would be far better.
Right, next up. So this, I think it's the first time I've ever had the same person send in two amazing bikes, because this has been sent in by Tabor Newton again. And I did double check on the GCN uploader. I'm pretty sure this was Tabor Newton
Tabor's
again.
just showing off now.
Unless we've made a mistake in the uploader, let me know in the comments. But Tabor Newton, you've got a good collection of bikes. So this
That's a Colnago Master.
Colnago Master, yeah.
But it's a retro modern build, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
modern components on a retro frame.
Yeah, similar to what Alex did recently, which I think this is a step up from what Alex did for what it did.
I mean,
That's pretty nice. That is like baller.
Tabor's big fan of the one by SRAM Access, isn't he?
Yeah, look at that rear derailleur.
What
as
is
well.
going on there?
Yeah, look at the rear derailleur. That's why I didn't spot that until the end either.
That is crazy. I love the polished fork and the polished stays on those.
it's
Masters.
nice.
They are so nice.
That is nice. So yeah, Axis 1x, Dida, components, Parkour Chrono wheel set. Nice that.
That's
a super. I mean,
It-
that has to be a super nice.
I mean, there's a slight bit of jauntiness going on.
You can throw your jauntiness out the window here.
I mean, there's a bit of jauntiness. It's not the worst jauntiness I've ever seen. So I think...
Mate, you can't not.
I know.
That's super nice.
You're right.
That's the bike vault.
that was a
Banging.
good Vite Vault.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They're coming in, so keep them coming because we love to see them, we love to chat about them, and keep your eyes on.
Send us your bikes. Right, that's all we've got time for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope that you now are able to correctly pronounce the name of
Thule.
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 Yeah.
Thule.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye.
All right.